I am so excited to share this moment with you because I'm announcing my new book, Pulgarcito de America, also known as The Little Thumb of America. This was a huge undertaking. You might remember me doing National Novel Writing Month last November, so it's taken me 6 months, because I got started writing in the summer, 6 months to get this book together for you, and it's a killer. Oh my gosh, this is my best writing ever. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It turned out very professional. You can see here, really going in depth into my story when it comes to finding my birth mother in El Salvador, and a lot of the things that I have not shared with you previously when it comes to adoption, when it comes to how my parents felt about this journey, why it is that I was given up, different areas or different aspects of the story that I didn't reveal, that didn't happen on YouTube. I share all of that with you. I had a lot of people who reached out to me saying that the story should become a book or that it should become a movie someday. And when I was starting the writing process, I was like, wow, that'd be so cool if I wrote a book. Like, this would actually be my 7th book. I've written 6 other business books. This would be my first memoir where I'm talking about the story, but getting more in depth and more visceral into what I actually experienced, the emotions that I went through, what it is like to be an only child who is adopted from a predominantly white community, and then to sort of learn about culture as I went. When I got more interested in Latino culture, sort of pushing up against some different barriers when it comes to that. And in addition, eventually one day deciding to go back to the country where I was adopted and try to find my birth mother, when literally all I had was a photograph of me and her as an infant child, her holding me and passing out this photograph as much as I could in the town until I eventually got some information on her. That's all I had. The only information I had was the town where she was born, hopefully where she still lived, and that photograph, but that led me to her. With this story, I also discovered that I have a brother and 2 sisters and many other half-sisters, people that I've met also around the world. I have a sister in LA. I've had so many people come out of the woodwork, and it's been just such a huge blessing for me in my life, and I want to document that and also add more in this book, Little Thumb of America. At the same time, this story cannot be just about me. You know, it's not just a journal entry, or it's not just me putting my thoughts out there for the world to witness or to see. It's nothing like that. It's about you. I think that adoption is a very complex and intricate topic. It's a very taboo topic. People don't want to talk about adoption, and also to find out that you are adopted as a child. How exactly does that feel, and how do you wrestle with those different emotions? If you've ever considered going back and trying to discover your roots, maybe your Latino heritage, maybe you've been curious about what it's like being an adopted child and being raised in a predominantly white community, if you have ever considered trying to find your own birth mother, or you're wrestling with your own thoughts when it comes to your child, this book is meant to sort of open up a lot of those different questions, and also hopefully share with you some of the ways that I've struggled and wrestled with some of these quandaries in my own life, and how I've sort of addressed some of those things. It's hard to be transparent, man. It is hard to be authentic, but this is 100% my authentic self that I am handing to you. And my one wish, number one, is that you are inspired by my journey to connect with your own roots, that if you're a mother out there, also to connect with your son, or if you're a son out there, to maybe to connect with your family. But in addition, I want to share with you a different perspective, a different cultural perspective, how, if you will, traditional Americans, or like being, white people being raised in a predominantly white community, what that was like for me as a Latino, then pushing up against people when they realize I'm actually don't have very much cultural Latino background, and kind of how that felt for me and how it created different emotions in me. Little Thumb of America has some things out there that I'm kind of hesitant about sharing because they can be taken really the wrong way, and they're actually very vulnerable sides of myself, and I'm a little bit scared to actually put this book out there, but I think that's a good sign. So not only is it the reuniting of a mother and son, not only is it the reuniting of a new family, discovering they have a brother and being able to now talk with him and talking a little bit about where that relationship might lead, but it's also about me getting very candid and very honest about some of the negative feelings that I had before going on my trip. You remember my other video out there, my 23andMe ancestry test. I did my 23andMe results, and I created this video that was very controversial, where I talked about Salvador, how it had gang violence, how it had not really great environment, lots of crime, and I would never want to go to that country, or if I did, I would have to have bodyguards and have to have a translator and all this kind of stuff. It created this huge uproar. And after making that video, I realized, I listened to the people that were commenting, and I said, you know what? I can't talk about something that I don't know about. So I actually have to go to this country and to see it for myself. I have to witness it with my own eyes. And that's exactly what I did with my entire trip back to El Salvador. I went around, I went to different places. I went to, El Tunco, I went to Santa Ana, I went to Suchitoto, I went to San Salvador. I really explored around and tried to get a sample of the local culture, the flavors there, and to understand the culture and the country from my own eyes, my own perspective. And what this led to was like a complete change in my mindset. And I was so surprised how nice people were there in El Salvador, how incredibly peaceful a lot of the people were. It was so remarkable and almost breathtaking to a certain degree. With my book, you're going to see a bit of a transformation when it comes to beforehand being very skeptical and guarded and being just kind of overall very angry, I think, and then to coming to more of an understanding of what it is to be going back to a country that has kind of been untouched by a lot of civilization, that it is a part of the third world, and to really having a reverence for the culture that is Salvadorian, the Salvador culture. I hope you like this book. My name is Salvador Brigman. You can pick up a copy down below and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not yet, because I'm putting out more content on adoption and also exploring my own identity, hopefully yours.